Leslie.
I'm Laurie. Welcome to
Sumo Kaboom.
Sumo Kaboom,
where we talk about all things sumo.
That's right, and welcome this week to Spooky Sumo Halloween episode. You want to know how we have returned to this mic week after week after week for 4.5 years?
Has it been 4.5 years?
I'll tell you why. Because sometimes we do dumb episodes like we are about to give you today. We do episodes for the pure joy of it.
We like a themed episode, so.
That's right. Well, first I have a reminder. The raffle. We are picking raffle winners on Halloween. So if you want to get in on this raffle, now is the time. You got to do it fast. Got to get your name in. $3 a ticket. Go to our coffee page. Jump in on our raffle if you want some free sumo merch. Well, I guess not free. $3 sumo merch that we have collected from Japan and from travels and from going to sumo events and, you know, all that sort of stuff. We will send it to you. If you win, we're picking the winner on Halloween.
And I mean, we've got some good stuff. So... which
yes, we do.
Includes, I think, an endo tagata and some other fun stuff like that. Yeah, like we picked up the sumo tees and all of those fun, silly things. $3 a ticket, so you can buy them in any multiple of 3 that you want. We'll put your name on the list, and like Laurie said, we will be coming to you with a special drawing, not just a notification in the email. We will be making it Halloween themed. And I will have to say, look for it on our socials because I feel like my costume is really amazing.
I have some haikus that were sent to us from Gil, and he wants you, Leslie, and our listeners to guess who he's talking about.
Oh, okay. So if it's specific to me, then I can probably...
well, we'll see.
Okay.
Which wrestler is he talking about?
Okay.
He or she?
Okay.
A smiling whirlwind of power, chaos, and charm, and 1 grain of salt.
I mean, my instinct is Ura from the very beginning.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got it.
I got it.
You got it. Okay, here's your second one.
Okay.
So these get progressively harder, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
With fistful of salt.
Teretsuyoshi.
See, that's what I thought too, but you gotta hold on.
Okay.
With fistful of salt, purifying the ram's head. The gates are shattered.
The ram's head. The gates are shattered. Whose name refers to a ram? Who has a big salt throw? I know it's not like...
The salt throw threw me off.
Oh, yeah.
So really think about
or
the
large...
ram's head, shattering gates with your head.
Oh. Is it Hokuto Fuji?
Yes, ding,
because
ding, ding, ding,
I call
ding,
him the
ding,
bull.
ding.
I call him the bull. So yeah, it's
There you
the
go.
same sort of approach.
And the last one.
Okay.
Rise, mighty dragon. Left foot planted, right foot up. Giants are toppled.
Oh, so shorter guy. I thought Mongolian.
You're on the right track.
Well, I feel like it's like Hoshoryu.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding,
All
ding,
right.
ding, ding, ding. 3 for 3. Well done. I hope you did as well at home, dear listeners.
Do you know what's funny is somebody this weekend showed me pictures when they went to a sumo tournament, and it was like 1.5 years ago, and he had a picture of the doyo iri, and he was like, here, let me show you. And he didn't know who any of the people he had pictures of. And I looked at their backsides, and I was like, oh, that's Ryuden, and then that's Takanosho. And everyone around me was like, you know sumo so well, you can pick out these guys from behind.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like,
yes.
Yeah, I know their bodies upside and down.
Yes.
But he had been in Japan, and it was a friend of a friend. And so I was like very proud of myself to be like, oh my gosh, I am nuts about this. People think I know something about sumo, but then it's like a party trick. Like, I'm like, do you really want all of the history? Because
I could talk your
sit
ear
back,
off.
put on a seatbelt, because I will go on. Yay. Next week, we'll be doing Banzuke talk. So I know that the Banzuke came out and everybody's excited about that.
Yeah, it's a great Banzuke.
Yeah.
And there's some new guys we're going to talk about next week. There's 3 new guys.
Yes.
So we have lots to talk about.
We have lots to talk about. We'll be getting our bingo cards out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, if you want to play bingo with us, it's a game. We do it every single basho. You can go to our website to find out more information about that. Get on our e-newsletter list because those are the first people that find out. about the bingo cards.
Right.
Yeah, if you know you want to play, make sure you're on that list.
That's right.
It's free.
It's free, yeah. At 77 years old, a former sumo wrestler and ozeki, Asahi Kuni, I think was his name, he passed away. His name, he was known as the piranha of sumo, which I absolutely loved learning because
That's terrifying.
I know you can assume he was named that because he was small and he would eat people alive.
Or he was biting people while doing sumo.
I choose to believe he was small and he ate people alive,
Okay.
like in that kind of, yeah. But he was also known as a sumo doctor for his dedication to research. So he was a real studious kind of guy in his approach to sumo. No one really may know him because he's of yesteryear, but I just like to bring up sometimes these things in case people do remember him or appreciate the fact that there's somebody that's named the sumo piranha. Koto Shogiku has officially started up his new practice. He's Hidenoyama Oyakata. He has 5 wrestlers, and they are now practicing. They are active on Instagram and everything and posting pictures. They have an outdoor dojo. And here is the biggest weird news from the sumo world. There is this poor kid, Makushita kid, and he is stuck in a big old family drama between his family and the stable. Okay? This is what he said. This kind of goes on, but it'll get you the drama that you want. This is Mikino Sato. There's something I'd like to tell everyone, and with my master's permission, I write it down. 2 accounts, Sunny Today and Melon Pon, have been posting slander against the Nishiuwa stable for 3 months. In fact, I investigated with a lawyer at the end of August and found that Sunny Today is my maternal grandmother and Melon Pon is my mother. I have apologized to everyone at the stable, but I have not been able to apologize to everyone who supports me. So I will take this opportunity to apologize. I am sorry for an inconvenience caused. In July, I wanted to know the truth, so I called my mother, who I thought was the most suspicious, but she denied it. No matter how many times I asked, she denied it, and I was in despair as I watched my mother lie. My mother and grandmother continued to slander me on social media after that. After witnessing my parents' disgraceful behavior for 3 months, I never wanted to see my family again and wanted to cut ties with them, so I went to the ward office and had my family separated. In August, a lawyer listened to the opinions of my younger brother, who had left the room without permission, and my father, and it was determined that there was nothing wrong with the supervision of the room. The issue has been resolved. I didn't intend to say anything, but the other day I found out that my father was posting lies and speculation on social media, venting his frustrations about the guidance of the master and his wife with fabricated stories, saying things like, "I will never forgive those who destroyed my family, and I will wait for them to return to their state of mind as if they were my own child." And I was shocked and unable to forgive them, so I decided to tell them how I felt. I had a sense of responsibility every day, but the kind words I received from the Supporters Association and the other wrestlers were very encouraging. Thanks to them, I'm still able to do my best. I feel very happy when I finish my practice and training. I will continue to work hard at Nishiawa Stable.
So I'm confused. So his younger brother left the stable
Without permission.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but he's saying that.
And talked to his dad. And so his dad started saying, he's not getting great, like it's a dangerous place or it's a bad place.
See, that's the thing.
Started saying negative things about sumo.
We don't know if it came from the brother. We just know these 2 people were shit-talking the stable.
And that turned out to be this kid's mom and grandma.
Yes. And he got an investigator out because it's been happening for 3 or more months, right?
What were they saying?
The accusation is that there was power harassment. That's why mom and dad and grandma got involved. I know nothing about the brother. I don't know any of that. To me, it sounds suspicious, but there was some sort of investigation into the stable, I think by the police, and they concluded that it was indeed not power harassment, or in their judgment, it was as sumo stables do. But drama at the Nishiwa stable. Your mom and your grandma are posting all the time strange, crazy, slanderous things. But then it makes you think. It's a real mystery for a family to go. I mean, is the whole family just crazy or is
Grandma,
it founded?
Pull up your phone. I'm going to get on my computer and we are both going to say something slanderous this morning.
Or from the other brother, they found out that
there are
things aren't right.
Strange is afoot here and we need to tell the world.
Exactly. So,
and we don't know the truth.
We don't know the truth. So that's how it's played out in a very Japanese, like, official manner.
Has the JSA looked into this?
I imagine they know about it, but there's been no article or no information on what follow through they have with all of that.
The police say it's all fine. You just have a troll or two.
Or to our whole family. I'm kind of stuck in the middle going, that's kind of like a really strange reaction for a whole family to have. I mean, to go to the point to separate yourself off from your family, like legally, is what he's done. So that's pretty intense. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But anyway, that is kind of like all the news that I have. It's a mystery, much like the rest of our show is mysteries.
All right, let's take a hard turn. Grab your hot chocolate. Put a blanket over your head, turn the lights down low, maybe light a candle. Because I'm going to tell you the story of the cursed Mawashi.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what you're going to hear are two separate stories brought to you courtesy of ChatGPT.
Mine's Chat GTP based, but then I worked on it a little bit because some things were so bad and so awful that
I'm
I had to
reading
honestly,
mine kind of with the Chat GPT imperfections because they're kind of funny.
At this point, I really believe the best use of AI is just making dumb sumo stories.
Yeah.
Because they get enough right on that it makes it hilarious. So many of you wrote back and said how much you enjoyed that Sweet Valley High version of our sumo story. So we're taking that and we're building on it, okay? All right. With the lights down low and a nice hot cup of apple cider or hot chocolate around you.
Some candy corn.
Yep. I want you to...
some wax tasting candy corn.
Yes. And some good popcorn. I want you to listen to the story. It was Halloween night, 11:11 p.m., when a thick fog rolled across the yard, making everything look especially eerie. Hoshoryu, Ura, and Koto Zakura had gathered after hours to practice late when the real training happened, according to Hoshoryu. The wrestlers claimed that training at night summoned the spirit of the sumo for extra strength, especially around the hour of midnight. Mm-hmm. But tonight, even Hoshoryu was getting a little jumpy. Not that he'd ever admit it. My uncle says this is when the real magic happens, when we're all alone, Hoshoryu whispered. But Ura, standing nearby with his usual snack, a pickle dipped in an alarming amount of soy sauce, squinted.
Did you make it that?
No, that came right from ChatGTP, and I have to say that is brilliant.
A pickle and soy sauce is like salt on salt on salt. That's so dumb.
Ura, with his pickle, squinted at the shadowy Heya entrance. Are we sure we're alone? He asked. Bah! It's just the fog, Hoshoryu muttered, cracking his knuckles, as if to shake off the chill. Let's keep going. Who's next? Koto Zakura, always prepared, was scribbling in his notebook. Oh, I've done about 87 bouts today. I could do a few more to make a cool 100. Crunching into his pickle, Ura murmured, I could have sworn I saw something moving out there. I've heard stories, lots of stories, Koto Zakura said, flipping through his notes. They say someone or something, a ghost, perhaps, haunts this Heya every Halloween, and it wears a mawashi that drives people completely mad.
Probably it hasn't been washed. Probably some sort of like skin bacteria that's infecting their brains.
A cursed Mawashi? Ha, please, Hoshoryu scoffed, though his voice wavered. Ghosts don't need Mawashi, they're ghosts. Come on.
That's true.
But as they walked toward the ring, Ura pointed toward... This is my favorite detail. Ura pointed toward the dusty locker in the corner of the Heia room, which is hilarious because there are no lockers in...
Just like a school.
Yeah.
Like a
but it's
junior
brilliant.
high school locker. Okay.
So Ura pointed toward a dusty locker in the corner of the room. It was slightly ajar, and inside lay a moth-eaten red Mawashi that seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light.
Daiyokosuna.
A strange...
Like an old 60-year-old
Yes.
Kaneki Doyo
Yes.
Iri Yokozuna.
Yes, a strange aura seemed to emanate from it, as if whispering secrets from the shadows. Dare you to try it on, Ura grinned,
Don't do it.
taking a nibble of his pickle.
That's wrong.
And
also, somebody's not going to make it out of this alive.
And looking at Hoshoryu with a glint of mischief. What, you dare me? Hoshoryu huffed, puffing out his chest. Fine, I'll show you there's nothing to fear. He approached the Mawashi, and the air grew colder. Kotozakura jotted notes furiously, muttering something about documenting paranormal activity. Hoshoryu...
It's a real Scooby-Doo team.
That's exactly the prompt I gave it.
Okay. It's very Scooby-Doo.
Yep. Hoshoryu reached out and hesitated for just a moment before snatching the Mawashi from the locker. The second he touched it, a strange chill shot up his arm and an echoing voice seemed to fill the room, chanting in an eerie whisper. I wrestled in life, I wrestle in death. This cursed Mawashi binds me till my last breath. Hoshoryu froze, the Mawashi hanging limply from his hand. Did you two hear that? Kotozakura nodded, eyes wide, while Ura continued munching. Yep, Ura said nonchalantly. Yeah, ghost chant. Happens all the time with cursed things. You putting it on or what? Hoshoryu, too proud to back down, quickly wrapped the Mawashi around his waist, and for a moment nothing happened. He grinned confidently, about to boast of his courage, when suddenly his eyes went wide. He stumbled, clutching his head, muttering, I must wrestle. Uh-oh, Kotozakura whispered, taking notes. It seemed he's fallen under the Mawashi's curse. In a blink of an eye, Hoshoryu began stomping across the mat, his eyes glazed, muttering phrases like, "Bring me my next opponent," and "The spirit of sumo shall not rest."
Oh.
He began performing wild shiko, lifting his legs high and slamming them down with an unearthly power, as though possessed by the spirit of an ancient sumo wrestler. Ura watched with fascination, holding his pickle like it was a magic wand. Ooh, fascinating. Do you think he'll calm down if maybe we find him an opponent? This is the part in the story where I really want him to go, Lumos, with his pickle. Just then, they heard a strange thump from the shadows. Out stepped a new figure, a sumo wrestler they didn't recognize, draped in an ancient, dusty kimono. His face was hidden in shadow, but his eyes gleamed like fire. "Who are you?" Kotozakura demanded.
Wait, where did this guy pop out of? Just air?
Just the shadows,
Just
air.
air.
Yeah. Yeah. This wrestler grinned a toothy smile and cracked his neck.
Oh.
I am Shigetsu, the greatest sumo wrestler of the Edo period. Or at least I was, until I was bound to that cursed Mawashi for eternity. I was only waiting for someone foolish enough to put it on. Thanks, by the way. You're welcome? Ura stammered, trying to keep his cool by nibbling on his pickle. I love the fact that nibbling on his pickles in here twice.
It's clearly Shaggy. Like, Ura is clearly Shaggy. And, like, Kotozakura is, like, Fred
I
or
love
whatever. Like,
Velma.
Velma,
Who was the one
Daphne.
with the glasses? Yeah, it must have been Velma with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yep. Shigetsu let out a booming laugh, his voice echoing through the dojo. Now I'm free to wrestle again, and Hoshoryu, well, he's bound to my spirit now. Kotozakura snapped into action. All right, Shigetsu, what do you need to break the curse? There must be a condition, something we can do to free our friend. The ghostly wrestler considered this and grinned. I want one last match. Beat me, and your friend is free. Hoshoryu, still possessed but determined, squared up, facing off against Shigetsu. But as the ancient wrestler moved in, Ura jumped in with a shout, tossing a handful of salt onto the mat. Ghost repellent! He shouted, Ghost repellent! Though Kotozakura looked doubtful, but to everyone's surprise, Shigetsu recoiled just enough for Hoshoryu to regain control of his body. With his mind back in the game, Hoshoryu tackled Shigetsu with all his might. The two grappled in a fierce battle, ancient sumo strength against modern skill. With a final surge, Hoshoryu threw Shigetsu out of the room, the ghostly Mawashi bursting into a wisp of light as it vanished. The fog lifted, and the dojo fell silent. Hoshoryu, panting and free of the cursed Mawashi, looked at his friends. See? No big deal. Cursed Mawashi. Pfft, I had it under control. Ura grinned and held up a new pickle, winking. And that's why we call you the bravest of all, Hoshoryu. Kotozakura added a final note to his notebook. Case of the cursed Mawashi closed. And as they left the dojo that Halloween night, Hoshoryu could still hear the faint whisper of Shigetsu's voice lingering in the air. Until next Halloween.
Where's Old Man Winters?
Where's the dog? I know.
Where's Scooby-Doo?
I was hoping.
There's always an Old Man Winters or like a secretary or some lady who lives at the mansion who's like, well, what you don't know is that it's been me the whole time.
Yeah, and I could have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you four. Yeah, I was hoping for that. When I gave it the direction, that's what I was hoping for. But this was still pretty good.
That was really good. It makes me wonder about mine. Mine's a little convoluted and a little all over the place because I just kept having fun with all of the prompts. Yep. And I was like, ooh, I like this, but then add this and then add this. I have to say the very first version actually turned out the best. But then I was like, let's just mess with this. And so it got dumber from there.
Oh, I love dumb.
So just enjoy, imagine some creepy sounds. Long ago, during the Edo period, there was a small, fog-shrouded village at the edge of a dense forest. There was a secluded sumo stable that trained some of Japan's most formidable wrestlers there. This stable, however, had an eerie history, whispered from generation to generation. It was haunted by the vengeful spirit of an old sumo warrior. A man with a madness in his gaze so intense it could pierce a soul. He was known as Old Crazy Eyes Onosato.
Because he leans in from the side and gives you big wide eyes.
Yes. And his legend had grown so frightening that no one dared speak his name in the stable. Old Crazy Eyes Onosato, a sumo wrestler whose wild, unblinking gaze could strike fear into the bravest heart. Alongside him, other spirits were rumored to haunt the forest. An old geisha.
Okay.
A vengeful samurai.
Terrifying.
And a silent ninja, all bound by blood and dishonor to the ancient ring.
To the ancient rain?
Ring.
Ring? Ancient
Doyo.
ring?
Doyo.
Doyo ring.
And I don't know why the other
Oh,
characters
I
are
thought-
bound to it, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
I was like, oh, we've gone Tolkien. What? They're bound to a ring.
Maybe I should have matched it up.
Okay.
The story began long ago, at the height of Onosato's fame. Onosato, a towering sumo, they call him a sumo, but it's like a sumotori, with a reputation for both skill and savagery, was a legend in his time.
Ooh.
But his relentless aggression often skirted the edges of tradition. In his final match, he was set to face a younger, noble opponent. Among the crowd that night were a samurai named Takeda, his lover, a beautiful geisha named Ayako, who was also referred to as old before. Old, but beautiful, Ayako.
Oh, she's probably like 30.
Right, she's old. She's like 30, 32. And a mysterious ninja named Kuro, all observing from the edge of the arena, each with their own hidden ties to Onosato.
Wait. Could you go over those people again? Sorry.
So there is, that was my prompt. I was like, okay, this story about old crazy eyes Onosato is good. Can you add in a geisha, a samurai, and a ninja? And so it threw in a geisha, a ninja, and a samurai.
That were haunting the forest and also watching?
They all have ties, to Onosato. Now cut to Onosato when he was alive. He's at a tournament and all of these characters
are
alive and watching.
I see. So we've gone to the past now. Okay, got it. Yes. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, I should have repeated loudly. The story began a long time ago. Okay. And then it's at the height of Onosato's fame.
Okay.
I'll repeat that.
Okay.
As the match began, Onosato locked his crazed gaze on his opponent, who became paralyzed with fear.
Oh.
With a single brutal thrust, Onosato sent him crashing to the ground, dead.
Oh.
The crowd gasped in horror. Gyoji Tsunoyoshi, I can't pronounce it, but that's the name. Tsuneyoshi, the match's Gyoji or referee, condemned Onosato for his dishonorable actions. But before he could finish, Onosato struck him down as well, fleeing into the forest as chaos erupted.
Oh, that would be bad.
Takeda, the samurai, saw this as an unforgivable stain on honor. He vowed to restore dignity to the ring and pursued Onosato into the woods. But as he went deeper, the mist thickened, and strange sounds began to echo around him. Soon he felt a presence. A flicker of a shadow darted past him. It was Kuro, the ninja, who had followed for his own reasons. Bound by a past rivalry with Onosato, Kuro wanted vengeance in the shadows. Yet another figure entered the woods that night.
Let me guess. A geisha? A young but old geisha?
Yes. Ayako, the geisha who had once loved Onosato.
Oh, of course, she had to go after him.
Before he descended into madness.
Yes.
Drawn by the need for closure.
We need to talk this out.
Right. She needed closure, so
Yeah.
she went to the forest. She wandered the mist, her delicate footsteps silent and mournful.
Of course.
None of them returned from that forest.
Oh.
And all were thought lost to the spirit world. Rumor held that their souls were bound forever to the forest, their fates intertwined with Onosato's curse. From then on, the villagers avoided the woods, for many swore they could still hear the clash of unseen battles, the whisper of geisha songs, and the shadowy footsteps of a ninja. Years later, a young sumo or sumotori named Daiki, who also happens to be the first name of Onosato, but that's how AI did it. A young sumo wrestler named Daiki joined the stable, full of ambition and strength. He had heard the stories of the haunted forest, of old crazy eyes Onosato and his ghostly companions, but he dismissed them as superstition. One misty night, feeling bold after a long training session, he ventured into the woods, daring to face whatever he found. As he walked deeper, the air turned cold and the mist grew thick.
It's
Very similar to yours, yes. I was hearing yours going like, I feel like AI is like kind
it's
of
a Halloween story?
repurposing
Okay.
yours
Misty,
for mine.
yeah.
But in actuality, how many people AI'd sumo Halloween stories yesterday?
Probably two.
Two. It was you and me.
Yeah.
And it knew. It was like, okay, All right, Scooby-Doo. Then a chilling laughter echoed through the trees.
That was chilling.
Thank you. And Daiki felt a pair of eyes upon him. Emerging from the shadows was a figure with a towering form, wild hair, and eyes that shone with an unnatural light. It was old Crazy Eyes Onosato.
Was he wearing a red Mawashi?
I don't know. He could have been.
God.
His gaze fierce and unblinking. Because, he doesn't blink.
That's my favorite thing about this kid.
I never said unblinking. So AI picked up the fact that Onosato never blinks. Okay. So, you challenge my honor? Onosato's voice was a hollow echo. You have no idea what awaits you here. But before Daiki could answer, other figures began to materialize from the mist. First came Takeda, the samurai, his ghostly armor gleaming, his katana drawn as he advanced on Onosato. You will pay for your dishonor, Takeda growled, his voice as cold as steel. The two wrestlers stood face to face, the tension thick in the air. But a gentle, melodic voice interrupted them. Daiki turned to see a beautiful geisha with flowing ethereal robes. Ayako's ghost floated towards them, her face a mix of sadness and rage. Onosato, I know. It's tough to be, who knows, maybe he left her at the altar, who knows.
She's still seeking closure.
She needs closure, and she's mad about it. Onosato, she whispered, her voice filled with longing. You betrayed your honor and mine. You broke your promise. As the geisha's voice faded, a shadow flickered in the mist. From behind Daiki, Kuro, the ninja, appeared silently, his eyes sharp and vengeful. With swift, precise movements, he positioned himself between Daiki and Onosato, his eyes narrowing with hatred. Onosato, Kuro hissed. You brought dishonor to our name. Tonight, you face your reckoning. Onosato snarled, his form growing darker and more menacing, his eyes flaring with unholy light. You're all bound to me. None of you can escape this forest until I claim what is mine. Takeda lunged at him, his blade flashing in the dim light, while Kuro vanished and reappeared behind Onosato, striking with deadly precision. Daiki stumbled back, watching his spectral duel, frozen by the power of these spirits clashing before him. So, to be honest, I don't really know who's fighting at this point. Then Ayako's soft voice called to him. Daiki, she murmured. You must finish this. Only one who honors the ring can break this curse. She reached out, placing a delicate, ghostly hand on his shoulder. A strange calm filled Daiki, and he knew what he had to do. Summoning his courage, Daiki took a deep breath and stepped forward. Onosato, I challenge you in the name of honor! The forest fell silent as Onosato turned, his eyes blazing with fury. The duel between Takeda and Kuro ceased, and I didn't know they were fighting, and all attention fell upon Daiki. Onosato let out a terrible roar and charged at him, but just as he reached Daiki, the young wrestler moved with the strength and speed born of pure conviction. With a mighty push, he met Onosato's charge, forcing the spirit back. But Onosato's spirit wasn't done, his eyes fixed on Daiki, holding him still, sapping his energy. In that moment, Gyoji Tsuneyoshi's spirit appeared.
Ooh.
Standing between Daiki and Onosato, his hands raised in a solemn gesture. Enough, Onosato! Accept your fate, he commanded. With that, Tsuneyoshi performed seppuku. Plunging a spectral...
Wow.
Well, I added that in. I wanted seppuku in there somewhere.
Okay.
So there's unexplained seppuku.
So he just pops in the middle and says, wait.
Disembowels themselves.
Okay.
Plunging a spectral blade into his own form as an act of final honor. A blinding light filled the forest, and as Tsuneyoshi's spirit vanished, Onosato let out a howl of anguish.
No.
The ninja and samurai spirits followed, their curses lifted at last. Ayako, with a sad smile, gave Daiki one last, grateful look before disappearing into the mist. Daiki collapsed to his knees, gasping for air. The cold lifted, and the forest returned to silence. He would never speak of the night's events, but he carried the tale with him always, honoring the memory of those haunted souls and the battles they fought in death. And on foggy nights, villagers still swear they can hear the clash of ghostly warriors, the haunting song of a geisha, and the fainted glow of Crazy Eyes Onosato's piercing gaze, watching from the shadows, waiting for a challenger.
I like it.
It's a little
confusing because
the seppuku cured everything. I think he degutted himself, and then like a light came out of his bowels
and took
everybody into the
light.
Yeah, into
just like
the river Styx area.
Follow the light.
Yeah,
just follow the light. No, have you ever seen Fight Club?
Yeah.
Okay, isn't the thing? I've never seen this movie, but isn't the thing with Fight Club is he's really fighting himself? Right?
I don't know. I know that
really...
you just when you're in the Fight Club, you never talk about Fight Club.
That's true. You never talk about Fight Club. But I thought the thing was
the number one
like
rule of Fight Club.
Like he's really fighting himself the whole time. Right?
I think. Well, maybe I just didn't catch that. I mean, I got that. Like, it's an internal look at the need to fight.
Yeah.
And
so that's what this reminded me of. I was like, because they share the same name, Onosato and Daiki, I was like, so he's really fighting himself.
Well, I mean, if AI just got that next level on me, like, we're all doomed. We are so friggin' doomed if it's that smart. I mean, the first story was really good. But it was believable. And I was like, it needs to be dumber. And it needs to throw in some more Japanese, like, characters that we might know. And so once I threw those in, it got a little all over the place because we didn't really need the ninja or the samurai, but
why not?
But why not? Because
it's Halloween.
I think in the end, though, like AI, she was confused because she made the samurai and the ninja fight, and they had no bones. They were there to fight Onosato. So anyway, but that's my story.
I like it.
I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. So there you go, your spooky Halloween sumo-related stories to get you through the week. And next week, we're going to talk all about the Banzuke and what's coming up with our November Basho. It looks to be so darn exciting, y'all.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Just a reminder, get those raffle tickets because on Halloween, we will be doing a drawing and we'll let you know, like, if you win.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
See ya later.